If you didn't know, the internet is pretty important. You wouldn't be able to text your friends, check your grades, or even watch this video without it. With its widespread use, it's easy to forget what it took to create this collection of networks. The 1970s saw a boom in revolutionary minds who put all of their time and effort into the development of the internet. Radia Perlman was one of the few women involved in this process. Her work became a necessary gear in the machine known as the internet. In this video, we will be exploring the life and achievements of Radia Perlman. Early life. Radia Perlman was born in Virginia on December 18, 1951. Her mother and father both excelled in STEM-related fields. Her father was an engineer and her mother was a mathematician and computer programmer. During primary and secondary school, Perlman found subjects like math and science effortless and fascinating. She excelled in all of her classes and was accepted to MIT. She decided to follow in her mother's footsteps and pursue education in math and computer science. Being a woman, she faced many challenges during her higher education. When she attended MIT, they limited the number of their female students to the amount that could fit in a single dorm. There were only a few other women attending her classes. This gender imbalance was so widespread that she didn't notice it at all. In fact, she would be surprised whenever she saw another woman attending the same classes as her. She thought they looked out of place because they were the other gender, before remembering she herself was a woman. She also faced discrimination from her classmates and professors. Her teachers always assumed that she was falling behind in her classes. Because she was one of the few women in male-dominated classes, her professors frequently separated her from her peers. The constant pressure from her teachers, making her feel uncomfortable in the classroom, made it difficult to pay attention. She also struggled to get a professor to be her advisor. They would always give her the same response, that they were too busy to deal with her. Due to this, she never got an advisor. Her classmates would also treat her differently, but more often than not, this would work in her favor. Her classes were usually not equipped to handle the number of students enrolled in them. Oftentimes, there was a shortage of lab equipment, and as a result, most professors adopted the first-come, first-served policy, leaving many students without equipment. Because she was the only woman in the class, her male counterparts would frequently allow her to use their equipment. While she could have abused this power for her own gain, she decided to distribute the equipment equally among the students who had none. Despite the hardships she endured, Radia Perlman received a bachelor's and master's degree in mathematics in 1973 and 1976 respectively, and a PhD in computer science in 1988. Her future would hold countless innovations that would change the way the world used the internet. Jobs. While attending college, she was hired for a part-time job at MIT's AI lab, Logo Lab, under the supervision of Seymour Papert. There she developed a programming language called Tortoise, designed to teach children the basics of computer science. However, after graduating from MIT, she took a job with a local deli. Soon after getting hired, she was fired for, quote, not being smart enough for the job. She then got a job with the BBN, and in 1980, she caught the attention of a representative from the Digital Equipment Corporation while giving a presentation on network routing. She was offered a job at Digital, and she soon accepted their offer. The company was trying to develop a way to allow computers to share information in a reliable manner, and they wanted Perlman to assist with that development. In 1985, Radia Perlman invented the spanning tree protocol. The STP allowed computers in a network to communicate with each other across without creating loops. This laid the groundwork for the internet. It ensured that a network remained configured at all times so that the data was always delivered whenever a user called for it. It was quickly adapted as an IEEE standard for bridge technology. In 1993, she left Digital to work at Nobel, and in 1997, she joined Sun Microsystems. Here she would develop the Trill, which fixed many problems that the STP couldn't fix. This would be adopted by the Internet Engineering Task Force because it allowed the efficient forwarding of Ethernet packets using the intermediate system to intermediate system link state for routing protocol instead of the spanning tree. It was also standardized by the International Organization for Standardization and is still used by Internet service providers to this day. She developed the ephemerizer in an attempt to make the STP more reliable. While she could have stopped at the development of the STP, she continued her research and improvement of the internet. Radia Perlman would continue to be an inspiration for people around the world. Achievements and struggles. At first, Radia Perlman was not properly recognized for her contributions to the internet. While she faced many problems in her industry due to her gender, she believes that the reason many female inventors are not properly recognized isn't a result of their gender, but because of a problem inventors of all genders can face. While many well-recognized inventors relentlessly self-promote themselves in order to gain fame, countless other exceptional innovators don't, which leads to their obscurity. Instead of shamelessly promoting herself, Perlman gained the recognition of the public by writing 2 textbooks describing her past works. She has earned over 80 patents and has been a professor at Harvard and the University of Washington. She was listed as one of the 20 most influential people in information technology by the Data Communication magazine in its 20th and 25th editions. In 2004, she was awarded the Inventor of the Year by the Silicon Valley Intellectual Property Law Association. After earning her recognition, she used her platform to talk against the gap between men and women in STEM fields. In an interview, she was asked if this gender inequality still existed with the increase in companies sponsoring women's group events. She responded, "I think there is often an unconscious bias where the hiring manager doesn't really see a true engineer if the candidate doesn't fulfill some preconceived vision, for instance, a younger version of himself." Despite the increasing acknowledgement of female STEM workers and students, many companies still maintain their sexist biases against women. Female inventors like Radia Perlman are constantly fighting in order to change this. Radia Perlman has made huge contributions to both the internet and the gap in female STEM workers and students. Her revolutionary work will forever be useful to all inventors and scientists. After all of her contributions, she has rightfully earned the name Mother of the Internet. Don't believe things that you hear or read because a lot of it is wrong. Rather than accepting this is the way things are and memorizing that, exploring alternatives often leads to innovation.